Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Made by Marymount. This is episode 12, and today I am joined by men's basketball player Montell Cooper. Montell and I will relive last year's conference championship, which was held right here on home court. We will talk about his pregame rituals and the art of the starting lineup handshakes. With that, let's talk to Montell. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Made by Marymount. This is episode 12, and today I am joined by none other than Montell Cooper. Montell, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
You know what? I'm excited because you're a star player for this team. I feel like everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows, about you and your basketball history, and I'm excited to get into that and talk a little bit more about it and maybe even learn some stuff that I don't know.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad to get into it. Let's go.
All right, so let's talk first current. So you guys are 2-0 in conference right now. Just had your last conference game on Saturday against Marywood. Another win for you guys, and then a past one last week. How is that feeling right now? You guys are undefeated in conference. Obviously, you have some more coming up, but you haven't played any conference games up to this point. So what is that kind of like? You're just now playing conference, but you're doing well. So do you think not playing conference beforehand really helps you guys in conference? Like, what's that strategy like?
Yeah, definitely. Our out-of-conference schedule is usually always tough. We're playing a lot of ranked teams, and it prepares us a lot. So when we come into conference play, we kind of know, like, every game matters. Like, we can't really give any away. Those first two games, I wouldn't say we played great, but to not play great and escape with wins, like, that's always a good thing. So we have a lot of things we got to work on, but we're 2-0, so we're in a great spot right now.
Right, and you do have some guys that aren't currently playing that usually do play. What's the mindset behind, okay, we're missing some guys, so some of the freshmen have to step up, some other people have to step up, to do their job. What's that like?
We were in a similar situation last year, and it's always just next guy up mentality. We believe everyone 1 through 15 on our roster, like, they're here for a reason. They can all play, and they can all contribute to the game, so we just trust the guys that are on the court and the guys that are available.
So, you guys did something pretty awesome last year, and it's actually, right behind us here on the banner, if you want to relive your moment a little bit.
Beautiful.
But, you guys are the reigning Atlantic East Conference champions. You were able to do that against the team that beat you year before prior, but you were able to do it home court in front of your home fans, and you were able to win, here at Marymount. Relive that experience. What was that like for you? Because that has to be pretty awesome, because we won it at St. Mary's, so it wasn't home for us, but I can only imagine what it's like to win at home and against the team that beat you the previous year.
Yeah, so leading up first, Newman, I think they were playing Gwynedd Mercy, and the game was kind of close, and we were hoping they won. Like, we didn't want it any other way. We wanted Newman to come here because we wanted a repeat of last year. And before the game, Coach also asked me, he was like, do you want the game 12 p.m. or do you want it 3 p.m.? I said, Coach, make that game 12 o'clock. I can't sit around all day and think about this. Like, I want to get this win. And I was like, we might, the gym might not be packed because it's 12 p.m., it's kind of early in the day. But fans were still out, crowd was packed, crowd was loud. And to have everyone storm the court and to see all that love from the whole gym, like, it was amazing. And just to get that one on your home court, it's unbelievable. I just hope we could do it again this year.
Right. And you're a big leader for your team. These younger guys look up to you. You kind of you run the court when you're around here. What's that position like for you to have that authority, but also knowing that other people look up to you?
I just kind of be myself. I'm not going to, tell guys what to do, things like that. I'm just kind of like the big brother. I'm always going to crack jokes, put them in spots if they need to, and just be myself. Like, if they need leading, they need guidance, I'm there. If they need someone to talk to, I'm there. I want to leave a positive impact, not necessarily put myself in a captain or always see as the big dog or things like that. I just want to be their friend and their brother that's always there.
So talking Atlantic East, you are also the current, which the timing is impeccable, the current Atlantic East Conference Player of the Week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So this is your second one this year. What is that like to have these honors, but, you still have your season's still going? Do they help you? Do they kind of boost your head a little bit, or do they keep you level-headed? For you individually, what kind of impact does that have on you?
Now as a senior, I wouldn't say they boost my head. They just they make me feel good about the work I'm putting in. In the moment, I'll win the award, talk to my parents, say, I'm happy, and then they're like, all right, on to the next. I still have a game to play. it's player of the week, like not player of the year, like the week is over. Right. So I just kind of use it, to let my work be shown, like know someone seeing my play and seeing the numbers I'm putting up. So it's a good feeling, but I don't dwell on it too much. I just kind of move on to the next.
So, when talking about like you have work to do, you are a highly decorated athlete. Like you've done very well in your career here at Marymount, but things were not given to you and you quite literally had to work very hard for them. Mm-hmm. And so I have a unique experience where we were just talking about this beforehand, where we did Sports X together and you talked a lot about what happened through your college career leading up to pretty much this point in your life. And you had to work for what you earned.
Right.
What, that process, like how do you stay level-headed? Like how do you, it's adversity. Like that is like that's your enemy, but at the same time, you're able to build off of that and become better from it. Like, how did you deal with, that impact and like things that happened to you?
Because I know with any journey, there's going to be ups and downs. So I kind of accept things that are happening now. Like I've kind of used peace as my word for the year where like, I know things are going to be great at times and I know things are going to be bad at times. And I just kind of accept it for what it is. Like if I'm having a bad day, I accept I'm having a bad day and I get through those moments. I talk to those in my inner circle and I just kind of, take it one day at a time and keep things pushing.
So, when you have a bad game or you have a bad practice, what's your mentality after that? Are you kind of keeping to yourself? Are you kind of like, okay, it was bad. Okay, moving on. Like what are you doing after a bad game or a bad practice?
I will take some time to myself. I'll probably watch it, just watch those tough moments you don't want to see and figure out what went wrong in those moments. And I know just like a bad game is just like a good game. Like you have another opportunity to get back on the court and fix it and turn it around. So I just kind of stay positive and try to move on to the next thing.
So as a swimmer, I don't really deal with this the way that you do. When you're out on the court and somebody like does something and necessarily you don't like it, how do you handle that? Like, see, like that doesn't really happen to me. And so I always like find that very interesting. Like you guys, like you can't lash out and like do something irrational.
Right.
But like you have to kind of keep your composure. Like how do you, like what's your mindset and like what do you do that keeps you calm and like knowing like, okay, I got to be chill. Like I can't do anything that's going to.
Like someone talking trash in that sense?
Yeah, maybe that or maybe some fouls or stuff like that. Because we're going back to the game last week. That was a tough first half for you guys. 21 fouls on Newman.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a foul a minute. That's crazy. So, like, how do you, like, me, I don't know how I would deal with that because I don't deal with it in my sport, so it's very interesting. Like, how do you stay calm? But, like, because you still had a second half of that game to play.
Yeah. We always say this a lot, too. We know basketball is a game of runs. Like, we know basketball, you can quickly go up 8 points like that and go down 8 points in the snap of a finger. And we know that comes with this sport. Like, if a team's fouling too much, a guy's talking, like, crazy, you just kind of, you got to let them be. You can't really let them respond. If a team's fouling too much, the refs are calling it both ways. So we got to attack the basket just like they're attacking the basket. So we just know, we've been playing this game so long, we kind of know the ins and outs of basketball and what comes with it.
And so let's backtrack a little bit to last year. Coach Rogers has been a coach here for a long time, and he's been your coach as long as you've been here. What was that like winning a conference championship with the coach that brought you in and, kind of like, believed in you? Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I view of like your college coaches. Like they believed in you at a time when you were younger, when you weren't probably as good as you are now.
Right.
What was that like?
It felt great because it was all of our first championship, coach included. Like we were able to win a championship, but knowing our coach, he was on to the NCAA championship by the time that buzzer went off. I know he was happy on the inside, but he doesn't let us get satisfied with anything. Like we win a conference championship, okay, on to the next. We win the first round, all right, on to the next. And that kind of helps us a lot because as growing men, as young adults, like we try to get happy with the little things, and he knows there's always a next step, and he knows there's always more. So it was a great moment to get him that, but he knew there was more work to be done.
So talking the NCAA playoffs, that was the first time, for all of you guys. What was that like? Because that's a completely different setup.
Yeah.
And, it's just different. The energy's different. What was that like going into that game?
It was fun. We didn't have the result we wanted. We lost in the first round, but to get that little NCAA patch on your jersey, to have the ball say NCAA, bunch of cameras around, it was just like a different energy. Like we've never played in an environment like that, and we were all soaking it in. We were enjoying the moment. We might not have been in Arlington, Virginia. We were in upstate New York, but it was still a great time. And to experience that with the guys I came in with, it was just undescribable.
And so as a team, obviously, end goal is to do it all again and make it even farther with NCAAs. But what are you guys looking to, how are you going to get there this year? Like what's the mindset? I think you kind of already said it. Like it's just next game always, like next man up. Like, okay, cool. You won a game. We have another one to go to. Just like, that Rodgers mentality.
Yeah.
But like, what are you guys looking at, for the rest of the season?
We kind of first step is to once again get home court advantage. So we want to win every conference game. If we lose one, we want to make sure we beat that team again so we can stay in our first seed and we can hold that home court advantage so we can come into the playoffs a little comfortable, be in an environment we already know how to play, we know the hoops, things like that. So besides the one game mentality, first seed for the regular season, that's our goal for now.
So, going back, home court advantage and going back, conference championship, what was that like when you guys like came into the gym? And I remember it was whiteout theme, like stands are packed in white. What was, what is that like?
It was in my head. I'm just like, we can't do this again. Like we had the exact same gym. It was whiteout last year. Like fans were cheering for us again. And we didn't want to I wouldn't use the word let you guys down. We didn't want to lose again. We didn't want to do that on our home court. We didn't want to have Newman go up a ladder and cut down our net again. Like that's just a terrible feeling. So we knew like this game, I think I hit a free throw. We went up 5 with 7 seconds left. Marcus Beckett and Jack Buffano are trying to celebrate with me. I'm like, no, not till that clock hits 0. Like, we're not going to celebrate. This game isn't over. So we just we were so locked in. We were dialed in on finishing this game until the clock hit 0.
And so when it did hit 0, was it like a weight was lifted off your shoulder? Like, what was that like?
Absolutely. A burden that had been on my shoulder for 365 days. It just felt like it was all gone. Like I just had the biggest smile on my face, and I felt like nothing could bring me down in that moment. It was just super exciting. All the guys around me were excited. Everyone in the gym was exciting. It was a great moment for all of us.
So where is your like little piece of the net right now that you cut?
It is at home next to my comeback player of the year, rookie of the year, and my NCAA plaque.
I think that seems like a fitting place for it to go.
Yes, it is.
And you talk about like you've worked for everything that you work really hard, comeback player of the year. That was a big one for you. And you talked a lot about that in your Sports X presentation. And that's where I learned a lot about you, Montell. I don't know if you actually know that or not, but I sat there in the audience and I listened and I learned and I was like, he's going to be on my podcast. He's going to be a guest on the podcast. But, you worked for what you had, but an injury gets you down like that. How do you come back from that? Especially one like yours where it was pretty like you were out for a little bit.
I mean, every day was tough because that type of injury I had, it was affecting my everyday life. Like I couldn't really walk around the same. My mood was down. Like I wasn't building relationships with the people who meant something in my life. And it was tough, but like even on the tough days, I was just making sure I got my rehab in. Like regardless, if I was upset, I was still going to get up and just get 1% better. And just as I got closer and closer towards that final goal of getting back, I pushed it a little bit. And that's where I talked about my Sports X. I might have pushed too hard, but regardless, I was able to come back because I just I stayed with it every day. I didn't really give up. Even on my days I was down on myself, I just kept going.
So for you, this is your senior now. What is your personal goal for the year? Whether it be, I don't know, career points, I don't know, player of the year. What are you looking for this year?
That would be nice, but would you believe me if I say I just don't have one? My freshman year, it was to get on the court. My sophomore year, it was to win player of the year. My junior year was to win a championship. And now I just I'm playing basketball and just enjoying it. So I really don't have any personal goals for this year.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I like that. Just kind of like enjoying it, having fun with it
letting things come. If accolades come, if championships come, then I'm more than happy and blessed, but I'm not looking for any or nothing's on my list.
Interesting. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. So as we trail off, I have a couple questions. So first off, and now this is actually a question that a couple of us have been wondering. So when you guys get your when the starters are called out at the beginning of the game, you guys do your handshakes. Can we talk about that? Like some of those are very intentional and some of those are just kind of like quick and you're doing them and you're going to high five everybody.
Yeah.
How long does it take you guys to memorize this? Are we practicing this in dorms? Like what are we doing with this? Like how has this gone through?
Me personally, the one I had one in the beginning of the season, I'm not going to lie, it took me all summer to think of it. In the beginning of the season, it was a very complicated handshake, and the one who I did the handshake with, he is no longer on our team. So I was like, I can't take our handshake and do it with someone else. Now I simply run up, act like I'm a jump, and just shake Jace Mosley's hand. So I thought of that in the locker room probably 5 seconds before the game. I like it because it's like it's a little exciting, but it's very calm. It's just game focused. So that's
so the memorization is a big part. Like it is pretty difficult.
Yes. When you tell someone the handshake, you guys have to sit there and get it right at least 3 times in a row before you go out.
Do you ever like mess up like on game day? Like
yes, there's been multiple times where we messed up.
Is that embarrassing? Or no, because
Slightly.
people don't know.
Slightly. If you guys like clearly mess up, you're just like and then you try and fix it. You gotta run out. You can't try and fix it in the moment. You just gotta run out and say forget it.
I like that. I always think about that. It's like, well, nobody knows that you messed up, but yeah, no, they might actually know.
If it's not fluid, you can kind of tell a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I mean, I couldn't memorize a handshake. I really don't. We don't do anything like that. So
we could come up with a handshake right now.
Oh, really?
Boom, boom. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right. 2 tap. Salute.
Hey.
Boom. Handshake right there.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. See, it takes 5 seconds.
That's good. And then I'll remember that now. Okay.
When I do starting lineups, I got to find you. Then we go boom, boom, boom.
All right.
Boom.
I'll be right up there. So then I'll run down and we'll make it work.
Perfect.
All right. Word. All right. Last question. What is your pregame ritual?
Ooh. Home game?
Both.
Oh, okay. All right. Home game. I'll probably go to the calf about 4:30 or pick up something. 4:30. If the game's at 8, I'll pick it up about 4:30. I'll go to the training room, put my headphones in, throw away my phone. Not throw it away, but put away my phone. I'm in the training room for probably about 30, 45 minutes. Just a lot of just getting my body right. And then I'll go into the gym, shoot a little bit. I'll meditate, get my mind right. And then, boom, I'll read our scout, and I'm locked in from there.
So away.
All of that without the training room and going to the gym before, because we don't really have access to any of that. So I try and warm my body up in different ways, see if I can get on the court early. I really can't. And then I still try to meditate just to, center my body and where the moment I am, not think about anything outside of basketball in that moment.
So are you a music person before the game or no?
Absolutely.
So what are you listening to?
It depends the day. Like some days
What are you listening to game day tomorrow? What are you listening tomorrow?
It depends my mood. I might go like soul music or R&B, or I might just go rap music. It really depends the day.
What were you listening to when you played Newman for the championship? Do you remember?
No clue.
Really? See, that's that weird kind of thing that I would remember. That's why I did ask that.
Arcadia, I could give you that one. I was listening to 90s R&B before that game. Yeah. I'll just switch it up. It depends my mood. I scroll through Spotify. I'm like, yep, that's what we're listening to today.
Yeah, that feels right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're going to
It's just a feeling.
Yeah. I kind of get that. I feel like I'm like getting ready to get up on the block and I'll like skip through and then I'll hit like that one song and I'm like, all right, yeah. This is where it needs to be.
You're like, yep, that was the good idea right there. Or you click something, you're like, it's just body's not feeling it for some reason.
Yeah, it's just not hitting like it should.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Montell, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was so fun talking to you, and I'm really excited to see what you guys do this year because it was a lot of fun to watch you last year, and I'm really excited to watch you guys again.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.